Hey, what is going on, Brick Squad? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we got Matt's Mind episode 15, I believe. If you guys are unfamiliar with the series, basically Matt's Mind is a Q&A. If you guys have any questions or topics for discussion, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. And of course, you guys have a chance to be featured in next week's segment. Again, all you have to do is drop a comment down below and smash the like button down below on the video. I also do want to quickly say that by the time you guys are watching this, I will actually be in Florida, and I probably will be doing a live stream later on this evening. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I usually like to do these traveling sort of live streams with wherever I am going, just to keep you guys in the loop, and of course answer any questions, stuff like that. So again, stay tuned later today for a surprise live stream coming from Florida. First question for today comes from Brick Creations. Do you think that you would ever veer away from making Star Wars mocks and try a different theme? For example, Hogwarts from Harry Potter or Erebor from The Hobbit. I have deeply thought about that. I've always thought about what happens if Star Wars wasn't a thing, what happens if they stopped making Star Wars sets and sort of the theme just sort of dies off. I think the number one thing I'd really want to get into that was an official LEGO theme would have to be Lord of the Rings. My favorite TV show of all time has got to be Game of Thrones, and Lord of the Rings is the closest I can get to that in terms of like an official LEGO licensed theme. I would also love to do military stuff. I've actually been a really big history buff, and a while ago when I used to play with LEGO, my friends, we would actually play with like our custom military things. So I definitely go with military or probably Lord of the Rings. However, if I really wanted to go above and beyond, I definitely want to go with Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones, there's so much content opportunity for Game of Thrones. If any of you guys have watched the series, whether it be places like King's Landing, Winterfell, or some battles, like the battle at Winterfell, both versions, I think that would be really cool. The only real difficult barrier that I have to overcome would be getting the minifigures and the parts, because, you know, the Game of Thrones is not an official licensed theme. There is no official Jon Snow or Daenerys Targaryen minifigure. Game of Thrones would definitely got to be my go-to. However, because those are sort of limited, I definitely got to go with Lord of the Rings or military. Next question here comes from Hussein. As you get more and more pieces and sets, how do you keep your room organized and functional and not become a crowded mess? So the number one thing that I've been using recently are these bins from Walmart. They are 99 cents each. They are very, very easy to use for storage. Obviously, you can see through it, which is fantastic. So I've been using those a lot. Of course, I do have the smaller organized bins and stuff like that. And of course, these have the little draw-out bins that you can take like these. So they are very, very useful for when installing parts. As I get sets, I usually just either put them in storage or put them in my closet, and that's pretty much it. My room is actually 10 times better than what it was about a year ago or even like 3 months ago, so everything's like pretty well organized now. Obviously, I'm still in the process of organizing stuff to the best of my ability, but as far as getting more sets and parts, again, the parts go in those really cheap bins mostly, and then the sets go right there in the closet. Next question here comes from Lego Panther 21. Question for Matt's Mind episode 15. What is the best mock that you think you have done? Without a doubt, I'm most proud of the Kessel Falcon, the UCS Kessel Falcon. And then if I had to go, if you're talking about larger displays like Kessel or Crate or Scarif, I'd probably go with Crate. I think Kessel got very repetitive in the end, and Crate was sort of, I guess you can make the argument that Crate is also equally repetitive, but I think I loved Crate more. I think Crate just looked awesome. The color tone and the scheme of things between the white like salt and then the red dirt, I think Crate is definitely going to be one of my all-time favorites. However, once an Axis is done, I do firmly believe that an Axis will take that first place on my custom mock pedestal. Next question here comes from DMK Mocks. After episode 9, do you think we will get more Star Wars movies? Now, I kind of talked about this in the last episode, but yeah, it's confirmed we're getting Star Wars movies in 2022, 2024, and 2026. I believe the 2022 movie is going to be produced by producers of Game of Thrones, which I'm very excited for, and I really hope that the next trilogy or next line of movies is going to be old Republic style. I'm not going to get too much into this question because I did answer it last week, but in essence, I think the Game of Thrones producers have a really, really good chance of making a great styled Old Republic movie, so I hope that comes up. We are definitely getting more films, and I'm very, very excited for it. Next question comes from BLS Bricks. What mock, if any, are you going to be taking to conventions this summer, Chicago and Virginia? Since you tore down Kessel and an Axis likely won't be finished. So Chicago, I'm going to be bringing my Secret Missions of the Empire collaboration mock. It's very small. It's one base plate. I can fit in my suitcase, no problem. As far as anything else, I cannot bring anything to Chicago more because I am flying this year. I'm not driving, whereas opposed to last year, I did make the road trip, so I was able to bring Crate in its entirety. This year, because I'm flying, I'm not going to be able to bring anything. However, to Virginia, since I will be driving to Virginia, I'm going to be bringing my UCS Kessel Falcon. It's going to be really cool, so if you guys are ever in the area for that convention in Virginia, definitely go ahead and swing by, check out the Falcon. I think it's awesome, and I think you guys will love it. As some of you may know, an Axis is the mock I plan on taking to Chicago and probably Virginia next year in 2020. So as far as conventions goes this year, I will be bringing those this year. Question here comes from JDK Productions. Have you ever considered making a giant Death Star Lego mock? Not really, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think that a Death Star would be necessarily suited to what I'm trying to create. I like building these giant scenes with sort of variety. A Death Star, you could obviously make the argument that there is a lot of variety because there's so many things going on, but I never really thought of a Death Star mock. I mean, maybe if I eventually move out and I have like a little display shelf, I can make small vignettes of different scenes. But I don't think I'll ever be making a giant Death Star scaled mock. Next question here comes from Fresh Bricks. He's asking, would you ever consider drop testing a set or pushing a mock off the table like Jarrett and Jay did? So fun fact, last year Virginia was the last time I displayed crate, and I did push off the wall. I didn't push off the salt plates because that just didn't make any sense. It wouldn't collapse, but I did actually push the crate base wall and the mountains off the table. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, it's a live stream that happened about, a little under a year ago now for Virginia, so around 9 months or so. So you can definitely check that out, but I've come to the realization that pushing a mock off the table isn't the best way to sort, especially if you're reusing those pieces, because both myself and Rich Boy Jay will tell you that pushing a mock off the table is not the best way if you're looking to thoroughly sort through the pieces and conserve them for a future mock, because it's just a pile of mess. I don't recommend doing that. Anybody, if you are making a mock and you want to resort your pieces, do not push it off the table. It's just going to be a much bigger hassle for you. Just sort it as you kind of go. This question here comes from Joshua Weber. Matt, what are your thoughts about LEGO doing so many remakes for the UCS sets? Are you okay with that, or do you wish that they would make more vehicles? So I am very okay with LEGO recreating UCS sets that they've done in the past, because the amount of technology and the amount of pieces that LEGO has on hand right now and at their availability is far superior to 1999, 20 years ago when LEGO Star Wars started. So I think it's great to see the progression of the company and just how they're making the strides to improve their parts, pieces, and inventory to make these new sets. So I'm very happy with them remaking these UCS sets with newer styled parts. I think they all look fantastic. The only gripe I have is that I really want LEGO to remake the LEGO Star Wars Star Destroyer. I think you guys know I want that in UCS form. That is like the #1 set I want so bad. And of course we can nitpick and be like, okay, we want a Venator, we want a UCS Arc 170. But it comes down to it, I think LEGO is doing some really great stuff with their UCS sets. Again, I love seeing them because you can see the progression of the technology that LEGO's been doing, the new implementation of different elements and parts and stuff like that. So I'm very okay with them making more UCS sets. Next question here comes from Neon Shark Productions for Matt's Mind episode 15. What is your favorite non-licensed LEGO theme? I gotta go with Creator. I think I have a lot of the Creator modules. I don't have all of them. I think I only have like 4 or 5 of them. But aside from Star Wars, the really only other sets that I get for pure enjoyment are gonna be the Creator sets, the modulars, the diner, the Palace Cinema, the detective's office, the Parisian restaurant, a whole bunch of those. So I gotta go with Creator. It's definitely one of the most unique and greatly detailed lines that I love from LEGO. So I gotta go with Creator from that. Next question comes from Mr. Stormtrooper. For a 501st Battle Pack, would it be good for 2 of the clones to be new helmets in these guys, and then 2 to have the normal ones? So I guess no, to answer your question. I think they should all have the same uniform helmets, but I'll turn this question into sort of what an ideal Battle Pack, 501st Battle Pack, would have to be. An ideal 501st Battle Pack would have at least 2 troopers in the normal Phase 2 501st gear, preferably a Rex or some other named 501st figure, and then of course we get another driver for an ATRT, one that I would hope would be scaled correctly. I think that's going to be like the ideal 501st Battle Pack for me. I'm not sure if LEGO would do like the weird one-off minifigure, like the 4th of the 4 would be like some random guy, which I wouldn't necessarily be, opposed to. It's just if I was in a perfect world where I could determine what is going to be in that Battle Pack, I'd say 2, at least 2, preferably 3, Phase 2 501st Troopers with the same uniform helmets and gear, Rex or some other named figure, and then an ATRT. Next question here comes from Commander Thorn. When did you start collecting LEGO sets? So I've been into LEGO ever since I can remember. I really can't pinpoint a certain day. I always remember being a kid playing with the original dropship, stuff like that. But I only recently started getting back into LEGO seriously about a little over 2 years ago now. So I've been collecting LEGO. Everything that you see here has been accumulated in the past 2 years, which is pretty crazy to think about. When I started my dark age of LEGO, when I kind of got into high school and I was sort of focusing on other things like baseball, I got rid of all my stuff. I either sold it or charity or stuff like that. So everything you guys see in this room that's related to LEGO has all come within the past 2 years. Next question here comes from Wolf Kingdom 2005. Do you like LEGO Stranger Things? I think the set looks absolutely fantastic. I don't watch TV show, however. I've had multiple people try to get me onto the show, and it honestly just doesn't look that interesting to me, but I won't know until I give it a shot. But the set itself looks fantastic. It is a beautifully designed, beautiful box art. Like, everything about the set is amazing, and I do want to eventually get it, but I think I should probably end up watching Stranger Things at least once or twice just to try and get an idea of what is going on in the set, sort of understand the clues, the Easter eggs, stuff like that. But the set itself looks fantastic. I know a lot of people have been really happy about it. Last question for today comes from Aiden Bove. Thoughts on a UCS TIE Defender? I would be very happy with that. LEGO has never made a UCS TIE Defender. It's got some pretty unique shapes, which I'm not sure if that would be difficult or easy for LEGO to create. I'm not sure if LEGO's ever thought of doing a UCS TIE Defender. I would certainly hope so. You know, obviously I'm a huge fan of getting pretty much any UCS set that we can, especially when it comes to TIE variants. We've had a TIE Bomber, Vader's TIE, we've had the regular TIE Fighter. So I would love for LEGO to eventually do TIE Defenders, TIE Interceptors, but in particularly a TIE Defender, I'd be very happy with that. I think that looks super dope. Just kidding. Last question for today comes from Kavike Ellis. Kavike, hopefully I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. Matt, what do you think of doing a mock of a space battle like Ryloth or Umbara? So I have thought about that, and I think every sensible LEGO Star Wars creator has at one point thought about that. The only problem is obviously the ships and sort of getting a scale, right? Because you have base plates that you build on, whether it's base plates or freeform, stuff like that, where you build terrain, you build buildings, you build forests, you know, stuff like that. In terms of making a space battle, other than painting my entire room like black with little dots for stars and then hanging giant ships from like the ceiling, I don't see another way to make a space battle look the way I would want it to look. So have I thought about it? Yes. Do I really want to? Yes. Is it realistic? I gotta say 99% no, because again, when you're building a traditional LEGO creation, obviously you can build like a space theme, but you usually have like a base on a moon, and then you have shuttles and railroad tracks going around. So in terms of like a Star Wars space battle, I'd love to just get like a UCS Venator and then a UCS Malevolence or something like that, and then have that go head to head, but just put it on a table. Like, that's probably the best thing I could do for a space battle. And then obviously you can go down the route of animations and stop motion, stuff like that, but I've never really strongly considered making a space battle because I don't think they're too realistic. So guys, that's gonna wrap up Matt's Mind this week. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, stay tuned later tonight for a surprise live stream. I'm not too sure what time it's gonna be, but it hopefully will be coming from your boy. I'm in our production studio, so that's gonna be pretty fun. If you guys have any questions for next week's video and you want to be featured, go ahead and drop a like down below and comment your question or topic for discussion in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next week. But that's all we got for today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Take it easy, fam. Peace.